All my dear students and my friends. Before starting next lecture, this is going to be about educational approaches. I have already explained you some very important and basic approaches for teaching only. Okay, these were specific to teaching methods because our topic for these 2 days is going to be about teaching methods, and all the theories we have already gone were used in classical period. Okay, even if I teach you all the approaches and theories of education today itself, still we are left with a lot of teaching methods which are being used in the contemporary era. Okay, like lecture method, project method, brainstorming. Okay, so these kind of things are still left. So that's why this topic is very big and very important as well. And one question is surely going to be asked from this specific topic. Okay, so that again, before starting as usual, I would like to ask if I'm completely audible. Are you able to listen to me? Just quick confirmation, five or six quick confirmation, then I start my lecture. All right, thank you so much. I have received the confirmation. So now I share my screen uh, and I teach you about different educational philosophies or educational approaches. Okay, these are also very important from the exam point of view. So let me tell you why these differ and in what respect do they differ from teaching approaches or teaching philosophies. Teaching approaches included only those philosophies which told specifically about some teaching methods. Okay, these were very specific, their propounders were very specific, like Plato, like Socrates as well. Okay, so you have to understand those, and you have to go through from those four major approaches or schools of thoughts for teaching. But teaching is a part of education system. Okay, a complete education system includes number of things in it, and teacher is just a part. There is student or learner, there is teaching aids. Okay, there is institution, there are rules, a lot of things are there when we talk about educational system. Okay, now we have to understand about educational approaches. The question is how and why one learns. Why do you learn? Why do you study? Why are you curious to know about something? Always there is a reason. Okay, all these approaches or philosophies or schools of thought try to explain this way or this question: how and why. How and why one learns, how the learning occurs, why the learning occurs. Only these two questions are going to be answered by each and every school of thought or school of philosophy. So again, as per method of my teaching, I have written all the names of the different schools of thoughts and philosophies, okay, which are covered under the main head of educational approaches. And after going through from all these 9 educational approaches, we shall go in some basic details too. Okay, so you have to be very carefully listen to this lecture as well, because I'm sure if even if you listen me carefully for one or two times, even if you are attending this lecture live, and after some time when we shall post this in our YouTube channel and you see it's a recorded version as well, for one or twice, you don't need to go through from the detail subject matter of all these things. Okay, because I teach in a very clear cut manner. I shall tell you what is behaviorism, I shall tell you what is gestalt psychology. This is gestalt, I think it's uh, wording is wrong here, spelling is wrong, spelling mistake. This is gestalt, T A L T A T TALT. Then idealism, naturalism, pragmatism. Okay, I shall tell you basic concept matter, basic subject matter. How one reads, why one reads, learns. Okay, read and learns. So behaviorism theory of educational approaches says that one learns only when there is change. There is change in his behavior. If you are learning something, and if there is change in your behavior due to this learning, that means you have learned something. Okay, this is a very clear cut line I am telling you. Okay, you want to apply for some post in a police department or in army or anything else. Okay, so you think that you would get up early in the morning and you shall on daily basis you shall go for a walk, okay, or you shall run for certain kilometers. Okay, if you consistently do that, okay, that becomes the part of your behavior as well. Okay, that means you have learned something. So behaviorism theory or philosophy says that you have learned only when there is change in your behavior. If there is no change, that means you have not learned anything. Okay, change in behavior is must for anything to learn. Okay, then Gestalt psychology, this is how you learn. This specifically answer the question how you learn. And this psychology says that you learn from your problems. You learn from your problems, and you have to understand not just from your specific problem. You have to understand the different aspects of your problem. Okay, you can face any kind of life situation, life problem, or anything you can be facing right now. Even if you are my student, you are listening attentively to me, you are attending my lectures on daily basis. In your daily life, in your personal life, you have a lot of problems. Okay, you may be having, okay, different kinds of problem. If you try to find why this problem is occurring, when this problem is occurring, how this is occurring, how can I solve this, okay, who is the reason behind that, what can I do right now? If you try to find answer of all these questions, only then you learn something new. This is the Gestalt psychology. Okay, in a very clear cut manner I have taught you. You learn from your problems. You have to go up to root level of each and everything. You have to see everything is as a whole. Everything is as a whole. You cannot consider only parts of something. You cannot consider, okay, you cannot consider anything in parts. You have to study everything as a whole. Then idealism, I have already taught you, nothing different in this as well. You learn from the values, from ethics, from rules, from your religion, from God's sake. And finally, the teacher is everything in this psychology. You learn from these things basically. There is nothing else. Spirituality is must. Spirituality is must in idealism. Okay, and it does not prefer or does not fingers to materialism. It completely criticize the materialism. There is nothing kind of materialism, only values, ethics, religion, God's sake, what teachers tell you, and your spirituality, you learn from these things. Then naturalism, you learn from the natural setup around you. Okay, even if you try to do something, but nature teaches you. Naturalism is this study. Then pragmatism, we have already gone through. You learn by doing something. Okay, learning is done only by doing. You can get expertise only if you are doing something repeatedly. We were teachers, we have been teachers for 5 or 6 years by now. This is the reason why confidently we can teach you. We give you clear cut information, not just me. Hundreds of teachers are there who give clear cut information. Otherwise, I could teach you in a way that I could have written everything written in the notes, in the slides as well. Then I could go through from line by line, but your conceptual understanding would not have been that much better, which has become by now. Okay. Now you know the meaning of behaviorism. That means if your behavior is changed due to something, that means you have learned something. Then Gestalt psychology, if you have gone at the root level of something or your problem, or if you have understood something in a whole basis, then you have learned something. This is Gestalt psychology. Then idealism, values, ethics, religions, anything can be there, but the spirituality is must. Then naturalism, you learn from your natural setup only. Then pragmatism, you learn by doing something. I left this blank. I had to write in this, but I have written everything. I think you people would have understood this in a very good manner, because this video is going to be posted as well. If you want to write, if you want to make notes, because this is my habit of writing in the slides in itself. So I am not going to rub this all. You can see recorded version as well. So now this is humanism. That means each and everyone should have human values as well. Human values means a respect for other human beings as well. Respect, okay? Because we learn by sharing. We learn by sharing our views or values with others. So understanding other human beings is very important, and this is the crux of humanism theory. Okay, that means we have to value other human beings, their views, their criticism, etc. Okay, and we have to take care of them, we have to respect them clearly. Then a rationalism. This theory says you have to find the reason of everything. Find reason. Something is happening, find reason of that, why this is happening. Some problem is occurring to you, find why this problem has occurred to me. Now you will be thinking that then what is the difference between a rationalism and Gestalt psychology. Here I gave the example of a problem. The only reason is, in a rationalism we try to find only one answer, this is why, reason of everything. But in case of Gestalt psychology, we try to study everything as a whole. We try to go at the root level of the problem. Okay, so rationalism tells that you can learn something new if you try to find reason of everything. If something has happened around you suddenly, why this is happening? If earthquake happens, why this is happening? Then you start studying about that, then you learn it. This is simple thing. Empiricism, then empiricism tells reasoning is nothing, reason is nothing. It completely criticizes the reason. It tells that your own experience is everything. You learn from your experiences only. You learn from experiences. Experiences are everything. Okay, if you have not experienced anything new, that means you have not learned this. This is the crux of this theory. So rationalism tells you have to find the reason of something if you want to learn that, but empiricism says that you have to experience something if you want to learn from that. Then existential, we have already gone through. You have to find the answer of why out of your curiosity only. Curiosity. Now some people would be thinking that this is similar to rationalism as well, because in this also we try to find the answer of why. Let me tell you the difference between these. In existentialism, you try to find the answer of why out of your curiosity, but in the rationalism, you try to find the answer of something out of your necessity. Okay, out of your necessity. So this is the only reason, only difference between a rationalism and existentialism. Okay, so you have gone through this. I am sure that you can make number of Google searches, number of things you can go through in the YouTube as well. but that much clear cut portion you cannot get anywhere from. So that's why I repeatedly tell you, even if you have attended the live lecture, still go through from the recorded version as well, because sometimes some lines which you have not given attention right now, maybe you can give attention at the time when you are listening the recorded version of that. Okay, so if it fits to your mind, that will be great. The reason being, if a question is asked, your question shall become right, and 2 marks are of great value in the examination. 2 marks are of great value. Ask me why. The JRF was at 201 in 2017 November, but I stood at 200 completely. At 1 mark I left this. So that time I realized the value of 2. I had already qualified net 3 times at that time. Okay, but when I learned the value of these 2 marks, what happened in the attempt of 2018 July, I got a hike of 11% in marks. And that was much more higher for qualifying even in general category. I belong to OBC only. Okay, so this is that 2 marks are of great value. Okay, so you cannot leave anything. So you have to listen me, you have to go through from each and everything provided by us. Now let me tell you everything in detail, not in complete detail, because you have already understood everything. I genuinely believe the first one is behaviorism. L Thorndike was his pro-founder. He tells learning occurs only if there is change in observable behavior. Learner is always passive. There are 2 laws of behaviorism. First is practice. You have to practice daily for making your behavior to change. And then next, punishment and reinforcement law should be there if you want to change. But if you are not consistent, you can hire a teacher, you can hire your mother, which can punish you, which can reinforce the faith in you, reinforce the motivation, so that you make change in your behavior to learn something new. This is behaviorism. Then Gestalt psychology, 3 people were its profounder. Okay, Max Wertheimer, then Kurt Kofka, then Wolfgang Kohler. They were the founder of Gestalt psychology, and they told whole is greater than sum of parts. That line means you have to study, you have to learn something as a whole. Okay, we look at whole fruit, then we look at parts. We never, if I offer you an apple, a piece of apple, you would not say that this is a piece of apple. You would say this is an apple. Okay, so that's why in this way we should look at whole thing. Then teacher should encourage their student to discover the relationship of the element that make up a problem. That means different elements of a problems to be studied in a very combined manner in Gestalt psychology. Okay, so they gave 6 principles as well, although these have never been asked in the examination, but still we should you should go through from just 1 or 2 readings. These will be clear to you. I think I'm getting problem from someone. Kindly control your cell phones, please. I have to take care very strictly of that. Okay, then idealism, I have already taught you. Some more names are there. Only this is the difference. Kant, Vivekanand, Shri Aurobindo, Froebel we have already studied. Okay, then as we know that mind is center of understanding and God is the source of all knowledge, spirituality is there. So this is idealism. Then naturalism, we have already gone through. Your reality senses, what you sense from the nature, this is of great. These are gate to knowledge, and nature is the source of all knowledge. Okay, your natural setup is source of all knowledge. Mind is only subordinate. Tagore, Herbert Spencer were the basic propounders of this theory. Then pragmatism, you have to perform something. Okay, focus